We're glad to have this opportunity to talk with HGTV about how is it that we find ourselves here in Groningen in the Netherlands. I think the story goes back 10 years.
Yeah.
We had visited the Netherlands because Janet had an opportunity to teach.
Yeah, so my school, Washburn University School of Law in Topeka, Kansas, at the time had a relationship with the University of Utrecht for a summer abroad program. And I was teaching in the summer abroad program the summer of 2009. And the whole family came. Pat, our daughter Elise, who was, I think we've determined was 4.5.
4.5.
At the time, and my mom came with us. My mom lives with us half of the year, and so she extended her time with us a little bit to go on this trip. And we traveled Europe for a month, and then we were in Utrecht in the Netherlands, here in the Netherlands, for the other month when I was teaching. And we just really fell in love with the country. We fell in love with the lifestyle, the people, just everything. We loved it. We traveled outside of Utrecht, and we didn't come to Groningen, and so this was our first experience here, but we went to other places in the country and just had a ball, and we loved being on our bikes. So we knew that we wanted to come back one day.
And come back one day, but not just for a day, but for a year, to really get an opportunity to experience living abroad. And we had both had opportunities previously, years ago, to experience being abroad. I spent a junior year of college in London and was a Peace Corps volunteer in Senegal for a couple of years. Janet traveled...
Just personally to the Philippines and to Africa and to the Caribbean a little bit, so yeah.
But I think that gave us both a sense that the world's a big place. It's filled with wonderful locations, countries, fascinating people, and we've always had an interest of what's going on, beyond our own country.
Yeah.
And as much, as we love the U.S. and we'll be returning at some point, we really thought it would be a wonderful experience, not just for us, but for our daughter to have this opportunity abroad.
Yeah. So over a year ago, probably a year and a half, or 2 summers ago maybe, we really started thinking seriously about when we would do this adventure. And
Should have pulled out the chart.
Right. Well, we had a whole chart of different countries that we were considering, and kind of the pros and cons. We're a little bit anal like that, where we kind of do spreadsheet stuff. And
filled it out between driving from Florida back to Kansas City with all of our possible cities down one column and all the different characteristics that we might consider. What might make one place more attractive than another to us.
Yeah. So anyway, we narrowed it down, and we wanted to go to a country, and it was really important to our daughter Elise to go to a country where English was not the language that was, English is not the native language. And
we have an opportunity to learn a new language.
To learn a new language, right. And each of us actually had different things that were important to us, even weather and things like that. But the Netherlands was always at the top of the list because of the great experience we had in the past. And so, long story short, it ended up kind of at the top of the list. And so I started exploring some opportunities there, or here. And so I sent out proposals. I drafted some proposals in August of 2017. Well, it was before August, actually, the beginning of the summer, or in the spring of 2017, and started just sending some stuff out and seeing what stuck, basically. And
to various universities around the Netherlands.
Right, exactly. And then I started just trying to make some contacts and talked to all the people I could, and basically what happened was through contacts at Washburn, some of my colleagues had contacts. I ended up getting connected to someone at the University of Groningen, who ultimately became my champion. At the same time, I had some connections through alums of Washburn at the University of Amsterdam in one of their programs. And so I was kind of working both angles at the same time. And as it turned out, the opportunity here in Groningen developed. And this is where we decided to go.
But we can't tell this whole story without talking about Sylvia and Ray.
Right, of course. So Groningen was actually on our radar anyway, because when we moved to Topeka in 2004, we moved next door to a great couple, Rick and Sylvia Crawford. And Sylvia is actually Dutch. She's from here. She's from what city?
Delfzijl.
Right. But she went to the University of Groningen. And so we had heard a lot about this area, this region, and about the university. So I had a very positive feeling about it. And Sylvia's sister and brother-in-law live here. And so we kind of felt like we had a connection here anyway. So it was really easy to make the choice. And when we were looking at, when I didn't have anything definite, either in Groningen, here in Groningen or in Amsterdam, the question was, well, if we're just going to throw our hats somewhere, where's it going to be? If we're going to land somewhere and hope that something develops, where's it going to be? And we looked at the cost of living, we looked at the size of the city, we looked at the different opportunities, the connections that we had, and we decided that we wanted it to be Groningen instead of Amsterdam.
Because Amsterdam turns out to be probably, in some metrics, about 3 times as expensive as Groningen. So, that's a factor. I think the other thing that probably drove us most was we love Amsterdam. And, it's a dynamic, exciting city. But it's a very cosmopolitan city with a lot of tourists. Whereas we had a sense, it was just a sense, just an idea, because we'd never been to Groningen, but we had a sense that this city here in Groningen would be, it had a sense of being more authentically Dutch, and I'm cautious of saying that because, of course, Amsterdam
is more of a small town, right?
It's more of a small town, and
it's just kind of easier to get around. One of the things that I was really concerned about was, our daughter was going to be going from a public school to an international school here, and the school in Amsterdam was going to be a lot larger, and as Pat said, 3 times more expensive than here. So there were a lot of factors, and I personally wanted to be in a smaller town that was just easier to manage. So this is where we ended up.
So, there were some concerns that we had, some things we had to give up. Obviously we were leaving all of our friends, all of our family. And that was a big thing for our daughter. Here she's had opportunities to travel a bit, but to pick up and flat out move was a big deal. And it's a big deal for us. For me, probably, the hardest personal part was the fact that my dad is 90, and so health is an issue for him. So when I think about picking up and being gone for a year, that's a sacrifice. Now, he has done that himself, in his lifetime. So it's not foreign to him, the idea of spending time out of the country, but it's a cost. It's a personal cost for us, and I try to maintain connections with him. But that's one. How about for you?
I think that it's hard being away from family. My mom is usually with us after Thanksgiving, so this is the time that she would normally be with us for half of the year, and so it's kind of strange and not having her here. and she's getting older too, but she's very mobile, and actually she and your dad are in the same age range.
Yeah.
But my mom is still just going full speed ahead, and so she plans on coming in the spring with my sister and brother-in-law, and they'll stay. My Joni and Dan, my sister and brother-in-law, will stay a shorter period of time, but my mom will stay for 3 months and probably stay until we go back to the States. So, but it is a sacrifice being away from family, and stuff happens, and people get sick, and people die, and sometimes you can't be there for friends and family when you want to be. So that's a little bit hard. But we tried to kind of prepare ourselves for that before we left. I don't know that there are any other concerns. I mean, one of the things that is a sacrifice is that we are living on a lower income here than we normally would have. I'm working part-time, half-time for Washburn. I'm getting paid part-time. I probably do more than part-time work, but my salary is part-time, and with my affiliation with the University of Groningen, I'm not a salaried employee. It's a grant, and so we are having to make some adjustments and live on less. But it's okay. I mean, that actually, I can't even say that I feel like that's been a real sacrifice because it just hasn't. I mean, I've been happy to do it, and I think that we've been happy to make those adjustments.
I mean, I think there's been impacts on both of our careers. For me, I finished up with a 9-year period of serving a church in Kansas City. That was a great experience for me. Leaving a church, I'm a second career pastor, so this is my first full-time call that I had. And I found that leaving a church, in my instance, was kind of like breaking up with 150 really good friends. Because you just leave everyone. You're a part of their lives. You're caring for them, experiencing things together, and then boom, you're gone. And here, one difference that we have is Janet's working in academia, which operates in English here in the Netherlands. The church operates in Dutch, which limits opportunities for me to be involved in congregations. There are a few English language congregations, and we've been attending one, and I actually had the opportunity to preach, which was fantastic. But professionally, that's a change for me in that I'm striving to do some volunteer work and have connected with one particular organization that works with refugees, and I'm excited to get involved with that and see what I can contribute. But I'm in a situation where my wife is giving me this wonderful break, and I have the opportunity to be in this place, to strive to connect and contribute in some way, but I don't have the full load of being a pastor or a regular full-time job, and so that's a real gift for me. It raises questions, down the road. What's the next step when we consider returning to the States? And all.
We haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
That's
to come.
To be determined.
Yeah, but
should we talk about the house?
Yeah, let's talk about the house. So we started out in a little rental just to get ourselves landed here in Groningen and be able to look around. And I think we had there's some things that we share in common, and some things that that were more important to each of us. I guess we both wanted a place that had a lot of natural light,
which is really easy to find here.
All Dutch homes, it seems, have like huge windows,
front and back, and you usually can see straight from the front of the house through to the back of the house, because that daylight is so and natural light is so important, because so much of the year is kind of drab.
Well, can be.
Can be drab.
We had when we arrived, it was we had tremendous stretch of beautiful sunshine and
Wow.
all that, but that's
Heat.
not,
We had oppressive heat
yeah,
when we first got here.
that's not always the case. So we both wanted good light. We wanted a home that was well equipped,
Yeah.
well furnished, and this is Janet probably had some more specific requirements in that
Well,
department.
I really wanted 2 bathrooms, and when I was starting to research homes from the States, it was really hard to find any that had 2 bathrooms. And I thought, oh, this might be a problem, but I was hoping that we'd be able to, because I just like having more than one bathroom to be able to use, and for guests to be able to use one, and family to be able to use another, and all of that. And so that was one sacrifice that I had to make, because it just wasn't going to happen basically here. Elise wanted hardwood floors, and we have hardwood floors all on the first floor and carpeting upstairs. We got some things that we didn't expect, but are thrilled about, like a completely renovated bathroom with radiant heat on the floors, which is fabulous. I did not even know that was something that I wanted, but now when we go back, that's what I'm looking for.
Now it's a requirement.
Absolutely.
One of the things I know I was hoping for was a home that felt authentically Dutch. So the unit that
What does that mean?
Well, the unit that we were in was in an old warehouse that was on the 4th floor. And the thing that was, hard about that was going all the way up, going all the way down, 10 times a day. But the other thing that was really cool about it was we had the timbers in the top of the ceiling. And when you got up there and you looked out, we had French doors that opened out onto the street, and you had the timbers, and it felt like we were not in the United States. It felt like you were in some European setting. I was hoping not, when we found our full-time place, I was hoping not to be in a place that could have just been in Kansas City, just in the crossroads section of Kansas City or some other place. So because of that, I was kind of intrigued by the idea of, I've never lived on water, but around Groningen and other parts of the Netherlands, you see houseboats everywhere. Right. That would have been kind of cool to have explored living on a houseboat. But at least I wanted some place that had a sense of Dutch tradition, architecturally. I'm fascinated by architecture, and I was hoping to have something like that, and we do have that in this house.
Yeah.
With some neat touches of woodwork and tile. There's definitely in a layout that gives you a sense of being in a European setting with French doors leading out into a beautiful garden. So
yeah, it's really nice. I mean, we got very lucky, and it was so surprising. We went to a realtor that had been recommended to us and told them what we wanted, and this house was available for the exact time period that we needed, and it was just the perfect fit. And there's a 3rd bedroom, so that when we have guests, that will work out. And we have all the space that we need. Moving from how many square feet was the
3,300.
Yeah. No, the place on Romstrad.
The Romstrad.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It was small. I mean, there were 3 of us in a very small space.
I'm guessing, I think it was like around 600 square feet.
Right, and so
Studio apartment.
It was a studio, and so even though it was fine for us, and it was 5 weeks, but you didn't really have any private space. And so we wanted some place where each of us could kind of have a space, and even if we were all in the house at the same time. So this does that for us, and it's just really fabulous. And
location-wise,
yeah,
I was hoping to be close to the center city,
which we are.
Which we are. Our daughter's school is to the south, so it's actually a 20-minute bike ride.
Right.
Which suits her very well. You are concerned about.
Yeah, she likes being that far away because she just, I think goes with a sense of independence and
She's breaking out.
Yeah, she's breaking out. But I had some concerns about that. I really wanted to live closer to her school. I envisioned when we were moving here that she would have tops a 10-minute ride to school. And so, I don't have concerns about it, but, if I had to do it over, I'd still wish for something closer. But
it's dark in the morning now.
Right.
It's dark early.
When she gets home.
Late afternoon.
Yeah, so she's constantly riding for
dark.
20 minutes in the dark, and then
it's cold, and when
Right.
it rains, we have the option for her to hop on a bus.
which she does rarely.
Rarely.
But she has taken the bus, and that works out fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is, and I know we both know the bike ride because we've
Done it a lot.
done it a lot, and we did it a lot with her before school started, so that she was very comfortable with it. But now you sometimes have meetings there, and I actually take Dutch classes at the school, at the international school, and so I'm doing that ride every week, and so I'm doing that ride every week thinking, oh my gosh, she does this every day. But, and the thing to get used to here is that anywhere you have to go, we're either on our bikes or we're walking. And so, like later today, I need to run to the store. You don't just hop in your car and run to the store. You get on your bike no matter what the weather is, and that has been an adjustment, but you would think that it's really negative, but it isn't. Sometimes the thought of going out there, oh my gosh, it's raining and I still have to go to the store, I still have to go to a meeting or to class or whatever. And so the thought of actually getting out in it, sometimes you have to brace yourself for. But you know what? Once you're in it, it really is fine. It's better than fine. I do not miss a car at all.
No, I'm actually thrilled not to have driven for months.
Right.
And I agree. The opportunity to go out and bike in any weather means this is just the way.
It's the way it is.
It's the way we roll.
There are hair issues, not for you.
No, they're not for me. So
Hair issues for me.
yeah.
I
I think we've touched our
I think that's
bases here, and we'll be adding some other videos along with this one. And again, appreciate the opportunity to share our experience living here in the Netherlands. Thanks.
Bye.